Hello everyone. Let us start with the next module, that is analyzing the system. What is analysis? Why analyzing the system is important? Which all the parameters we are analyzing the system once it is built, and in the analysis process what all parameters we are considering, and to judge whether it is an appropriate system or not. So a software construction process begins with analysis that determines the requirements of the system. To analyze any system, we have to first determine what are the system requirements. So that is the first step to be considered. And next, at this stage, the focus is on determining what the system must perform, what that system is performing, and based upon its requirement, whether based on the requirements is it performing the right action or not. So that we are analyzing. It is something like giving certain input and checking its output, in simple terms. Okay, giving certain input for a system and observing its output, and matching whether based upon the input it is giving a correct output or not. Okay, correct output, it doesn't mean that we are testing here. We are analyzing by varying the inputs, and by varying the parameters while giving certain inputs, and by changing the system requirements also. Since we are coming to know what exactly the system requirements are uh, on a particular uh, platform, so documenting that is also analyzing the system. The requirements are spelled out in a document known variously as the requirement specification. See, this requirement specification term, when it comes, is whenever you uh, want to build any software, at that time the requirement specification comes into picture. What are your system requirements? So suppose if you want to develop any application, there should be certain system requirements. That is, I want to the system requirements to be, or the computer configuration to be uh, Pentium i5. So those are all the system requirements. Once the analysis has been satisfactorily completed, we move on to the design phase. uh, Normally when you want to develop any application, you bring up with some requirements. So this is all my requirements, and I'm going to develop. If your requirements are clear, and if your requirements are fully satisfied, then only you go for a design phase. So that's what is highlighted in this point. If your requirements specifications are right, and if your requirements are fully satisfied, then you move on to the next phase, that is called as a design phase. A question that is, and that comes for a beginner, often ponders is, did I do a good job for the design? Is my design really object oriented? So this can only be got the whenever you design the system, and whether you are using a object oriented technique or not. Once you are using an object oriented technique, once your design is over, then only you can get to know that whether your design is a perfect design or not. Indeed, in the real world, it is often the case that design conform to object oriented principles of varying degrees. So object oriented principles of different degrees, that is with different uh, combinations also, you can able to develop. Next, overview of a analysis phase. So here, whenever by taking a concept of a computer science student, normally a computer science student takes or writes a program by at a time when by the time he graduates. Typically a program requirements are written up by the instructor. The student does some design, writes the code, and submits the program for grading. It means there will be certain requirement specification. What is that requirement specification? Is whatever that lab program is there. So those are the requirement specification is the task is to uh, build a knapsack algorithm by using a knapsack algorithm. That is your requirement specification. The process of understanding the requirements, doing the design, and implementing the design is relatively informal. That is the process of understanding the requirement. Understanding the requirement, doing the design and implementing the that design is relatively informal. Next, requirements are often simple and any clarification can be had via questions in the classroom. Okay, requirements should be all should be always simple, and any clarification can be clarified by in the classroom, uh, by having a questionnaires or by through emails you can uh, clarify that. That is, requirement should be often simple, and we have three different activities for requirement specification, or in the analysis phase we have three different activities. So when you want to analyze any system, you need to have these points under consideration: gathering the requirements, precisely documenting the functionality required of the system, develop the conceptual model of the system, listing the conceptual classes and their relationship. Suppose if you want to analyze any system or analyze any design, in the analysis phase you need to do the main three these three activities: gather the requirements, that which involves interviews of user community, reading of any available documents, requirements, how did you uh, solve this particular problem, or from where did you get the requirements, and by using certain interviews of user community, how did you gather, or how did you manipulate certain things. So that is called as a requirement, gathering the requirements. And to build any software, precisely document the functionality required for the system. This is nothing but your whatever the requirements you have collected. If you want to develop any software, you note down certain points that yes, this is the first step I have to carry out, this is the second step I have to carry out. So whatever you have documented, that should be precisely documented, and which is the functional part in that particular listing what you have done. So that is the second one. Develop a conceptual model. What is this developing a conceptual model? It is nothing but when you have a specification or requirements, and when you have documentation, you try to build one model, maybe similar to the original model, a rough model we call it as. And by using this you can make use of this whole material for building up your original design. Next, gathering the requirements. The purpose of requirement analysis is to define what the new system should do. So, what our new system should do? So that is for that reason we are gathering the requirements. Since the system will be built based on the information gathered, and in this step, see, gathering the requirements is what our system should do. So that is the main step. And if at all you commit any mistake in this in gathering the requirement, so incomplete requirements or incorrect requirements also will make a huge disaster in your software. So whatever the requirements you have collected, what features you want that to be implemented in your software, if you have gathered it enoughly, then you can come out with a successful software. If any feature or if any specification or if any information you have missed while gathering a requirement, then whatever the final product you will be getting, that is the incorrect itself. So that's why requirement collection or gathering the requirement is the first and foremost step, and it is the most important step, because this itself will be the input for your system itself. Incomplete or errors, whatever I have told, so that is there in this particular uh, in this particular explanation. Incomplete or errors in specification can also cause because the client does not have a technical skills to fully realize what technology can and cannot deliver. See, this point is written by taking the under consideration that a person goes to the software industry. At that time he gives certain requirements. A person with a non-tech, a person with no computer knowledge will may skip some of his requirements. At that time the developer will not come to know that. At that time there may be a chance of mistaking the uh, develop, development. And broadly speaking, we have a functional requirements and a non-functional requirements. What is functional? There are two types of requirements: functional and non-functional. Functional requirements is nothing but it is an interaction between the system and its user, and between the system and any other system, which may interact with the system by supplying and or receiving data. If it is a computer and a user, system and its user, for that we call it, or system and its system and other system, uh, and maybe interaction with the system by supply or supplying or receiving data. That is, whatever the input you are giving, that input you are giving to the computer, that computer, if it is transferring to the other computer, so that is called as a functional requirement. You are directly giving certain input to the computer. Next, a non-functional requirement, like certain constraints put on a computer. Any requirement that does not fall in the above, like if you are not giving directly some input or input to the computer, uh, to the computer, then those are called as a non-functional requirement. Such requirements include response time. Response time is nothing but, if at all you give some input to the system, uh, what is its output, how much time it is taking for producing the output. And next, usability, whether your system can be used only once, and how much accuracy it is providing. So these are all the constraints, or these are all the parameters which comes under the non-functional requirement. Sometimes there may be there may be considerations that place restrictions on the system development, where your system is located. These may include the use of specific hardware and software, and budget and time constraints. So budget, time, hardware, software, these are all coming under the non-functional requirements. So let's stop here, and we'll continue the second module the in the next video. Thank you.